Hey guys, Conor Rother from NJMAnews.com. Again, second one today. But this video is gonna be more informational on like why I'm doing it, MMA, talk about what I know. So it should be a lot better than the video you just saw, which is kind of me just like showing off and like blabbering about myself. But yeah, so let's go into the facts here. Megumi Fuji recently just retired. Really great women's fighter. She actually fought in Bellator. Not she didn't fight too often over in the States, but she did fight in Bellator not too long ago. But I'm pretty sure she was unsuccessful against Aguilar, Jessica Aguilar. Now I'm not sure exactly what Bellator that was, but she did retire. And also Renan Cabral also retired after his loss to Jacob Noe at Bellator 66 last weekend and last Wednesday. And Seth Petrozelli also retired. A little after, but from the same night, lost to King Mo. King Mo just landed that big, hammer fist from top position right down on Petrozelli was on his back, and he was put to sleep. Tim Crater turned himself into police after having a warrant out for his arrest for, I believe it was marijuana, and he also had he was armed with a gun or something like that. And then one of the guys that I'm real friendly with, Marcus Brimage, UFC featherweight, was on Tough 14. He's moving down to bantamweight. He was on Die Hard's radio and we told them, and I think I'm gonna get him on my podcast. Probably not this week, but next week. But guys, you gotta check out my podcast coming up because it's International Fight Week, so I'm gonna be having a bunch of stuff on there. Trying to get some good guests on the show. Speaking of just good things, good fighters. You got Ryan Bader versus Glover Teixeira. Ronaldo Souza versus Yushin Okami. Now, that's at UFC on Fox Sports 1-3. And also on the card is Joseph Benavidez versus Javier Formiga. And Formiga follows me on Twitter. No big deal. But, yeah, that's all going to be on Brazil. And the thing that's interesting about this is usually when you go to Brazil, you always see those cards of where it's the Brazilian fighters, beating the crap out of the American fighters because they set it up that way. They do a lot of mismatches. But I think Ryan Bader, like I love Ryan Bader, don't get me wrong, but I think that's a mismatch against him versus Teixeira. But I do want to see Teixeira go against like a pretty good wrestler in Bader. I think that would be kind of exciting. Um, but I don't see him winning that fight. Ronaldo Souza versus Yushin Okami. I actually think Yushin Okami is going to hold his own in that fight. I think he might actually be able to beat Souza. I think that's a great matchup. It's actually like a pretty fair matchup for Brazil, especially. And I also think Joseph Benavidez versus Javier Formiga is a great fight. I mean, a lot of people think Formiga's not that good, but he recently beat Chris Carriasso, and then he was also winning his fight against John Dodson until he was knocked out. So I mean, the guy's the real deal, I think. And Joseph Benavidez obviously has been at the top of the division, almost won the title until he lost to the current champ. I can't believe I just almost forgot his name. Demetrius Johnson, Mighty Mouse. But yeah, I think it's gonna be a great fight between them two. But I do see Benavidez coming on that, so I kind of like that they're kind of going away. A lot of people noticed it the last fight. I believe it was like UFC on Fuel TV 10, I think it was. And when Doom fought Nogueira, a lot of people thought there was a lot of mismatches in that fight. So I think that's a great change that they're doing that card. Hector Lombard's officially moving to welterweight, former Bellator middleweight champ. I believe he's 1-2 in the UFC. He has a win over Rosemir Paul Harris, but he's also lost to Okami, and he lost in his debut to Tim Bosch. You got Marlon Moraes versus Brandon Hempelman, Gerald Harris for George Santiago, and Nick Newell versus Keon Caldwell, and that's all added at World Series of Fighting 4. I believe it's in California. So you got former XFC champ Nick Newell taking on Caldwell. I actually have a signed glove by him right over there from Nick Newell from his last fight over Eric Reynolds. But yeah, Newell defeated Caldwell. Gerald Harris, former UFC fighter, George Santiago, just lost to Gunnar Nelson, I think, back in England. And Marlon Reyes, up and comer. Bantamweight, looked great at World Series of Fighting 3. I had the honor to see him fight Tyson Nam, and that was his second win in World Series of Fighting. The first one was at World Series of Fighting 1, where he defeated Miguel Torres. And Hempelman, a lot of people don't know who Brandon Hempelman is. He beat Paul McVeigh at Cage Warriors, and that was when I first, saw the guy fight, and I thought, that was pretty amazing. So, yeah, those are pretty much my hot topics for this week. I'll be trying to post out more. every time. Now, I'm not too good with like technology, to be honest. I'm a journalism major. I stick to pen and paper and shit like that. But I'm gonna try to keep these short, keep them informational as possible, and just bring stuff like this. Now, like today, I probably won't post anymore. I'll probably post in like a couple days, maybe, and just talk about that. Also, too, I'm gonna be in like a hotel all weekend this weekend, so maybe I'll be bored and just make one there. Um, but yeah, that's pretty much it. Check out my website, www.njmanews.com, and I'll post all the links there down below. I did an interview with Roland Delorme yesterday, so check that out. I'm trying to get guests on my show this week, like Seth Baczynski, who's fighting at UFC 162, I believe, on the undercard. I've had him on my show before, so I definitely want to try to get that out. I got an email about getting some local guys on my show from EFC, which is like a local organization around here, and they're fighting in Atlantic City, so I'm just checking my emails on my phone. So yeah, I'm gonna have those guys on for sure, but I want to get some more notable names too on the show. I've had quite a bit of UFC guys lately. I had Mitch Clark last week who fought UFC 161, and the week before that I had David Rickles, Bellator, who's fighting Michael Chandler for the Bellator lightweight championship. Yeah. So that's it. Just gonna keep it short today. And thanks a lot, guys. And check out my website, as I said before. And have a good weekend, I guess.